In my last video, I asked whether AI could build a Revit model from PDF markups. It could, but only after I went back into Revit, added named reference planes, and rewrote the whole prompt around them. It worked, but it wasn't a clean workflow. Then someone left a comment asking whether Bluebeam markup coordinates could replace the reference planes, although the premise was to remove AI altogether. That got me thinking. This is the result. 34 families were placed across 6 runs, no reference planes, just a Bluebeam CSV and one prompt. Let me show you how. Just a quick recap for anyone who hasn't seen the first video. When you give AI a PDF and say, place families where shown, it has no reliable coordinate system. The PDF is an image. The AI is guessing positions, scale, and orientation. In my first video, the elements overlapped and were in the wrong location. Here it is on screen with the Bluebeam PDF as an underlying reference. Before we extract anything, we need the scale set correctly in Bluebeam. Firstly, ensure the snaps are on. Snap to content will do the trick. Now zoom into the target area. I'm just looking for a known dimension. For example, this nook, I know, is 1000 millimeters. So I can go to Tools and Measure Length. Now simply click 2 points using the snaps for accuracy. This dialog will prompt the scale settings, but first let me move it out of the way. Then click Custom to calibrate and set the scale to the known dimension on the drawing. Every coordinate we extract is based on this. If the scale is wrong, then everything downstream is wrong. As per the on-screen instructions, I need to reselect the same points to define the known distance, which is 1000 millimeters. In Bluebeam, every markup is recorded in the summary, which I'll slide up now so that you can see it. See the dimension that I've just added and notice these X and Y values. These are the markup's coordinates relative to the origin point of the PDF, which is typically the lower left corner. Now, for placing the markup elements, now this is important, I use the area tool and not the rectangle tool. The reason is that the rectangle tool does not record a height and width in the markup summary, but the area tool does. That height and width data is what tells Revit the family dimensions. So using the wrong tool at this point means missing critical data downstream. Let me show on screen what this looks like. On the Tools tab, find Measure and select the Area tool. Now click to close the loop. Notice the values for height and width are now available. Now let's talk about the origin point. In Revit, your project base point is typically a grid intersection. In this example, that's intersection A1. So I draw a diagonal line from A1 in Bluebeam and set that as the markup anchor. This becomes the shared reference between Bluebeam and Revit, the point from which all coordinates are measured. To make sure the markups list is showing the right columns, click the column header in the markups list panel and choose which columns are visible. Make sure height and width are selected. Now, the markup summary is ready to be exported as a CSV. First, I attach the exported CSV. Now let's look at the prompt. Let me walk through it step by step because each instruction is doing something specific. First, I tell it to read the CSV and only use the area measurement rows. That filters out any other markups we might have, dimensions, lines, whatever. Only the rectangles matter for placement. Then I give it the anchor point. Remember that line markup we placed at the Revit origin? These are its coordinates. X anchor 10.6692, Y anchor 47.8389. This tells the AI where 000 sits on the PDF. Without this, the AI has positions but no idea where they map to in the model. Next, and this is critical, I tell it that each rectangle is a run zone, not a single placement, a zone to fill with modules. This one instruction is what gets you a full row of gondolas instead of one lonely family sitting in the middle. Then there's the maths. For each rectangle, the prompt tells the AI to compute the center point, work out the long dimension in millimeters, calculate how many 3000 millimeter modules fit inside, figure out the orientation vertical or horizontal, and then distribute the modules evenly along the long axis. Now, the AI doesn't always get the maths right on the first go. In my case, it needed to verify the actual module spacing from existing gondolas in the model. But having these steps spelled out gives it the logic to follow. It's like giving someone a recipe versus saying, just make something. This line is easy to miss, but it matters. Revit works in internal feet. The CSV is in centimeters. The dimensions are in millimeters. If the AI doesn't convert properly, you get placement errors. Spelling it out avoids that. And finally, I tell it exactly which family to place, what type, and which level. No ambiguity. The AI doesn't have to guess. That's the whole prompt. It looks like a lot, but it's really just, here's the data, here's the anchor, here's the logic for filling zones, here's the family to place. Everything the AI needs to go from CSV to placed elements in one pass. I've pasted the prompt and attached the CSV. Let's watch it work. It reads the CSV and finds 6 area measurement rectangles and the origin point, 4 vertical zones, 630 by 3600 millimeters, 2 horizontal, 3000 by 630. It queries the Revit model, finds the double-sided gondola family, and picks an existing instance to copy from. Then it measures the spacing between existing gondolas to confirm 600 millimeters. Now calculates 34 module positions, 6 per vertical run, 5 per horizontal, converts them all to Revit feet, and copies the source element to each location. The 10 horizontal modules get rotated 90 degrees to align with their run direction. So it reads the CSV first, finds 6 area measurement rectangles and the origin anchor point. And this is where it clicks. Each individual gondola family is a single module, and runs are created by placing multiple modules in a line. And there they are. It queries the Revit model, finds the double-sided gondola family, and picks an existing instance as the copy source. It clears the comments parameter, colors everything red, selects all 34 elements. Done. 34 families, 6 runs, placed and rotated from a single prompt and a CSV file. That worked first time because of the prompt. So now you've got 2 approaches. Reference planes from the first video, Bluebeam coordinates from this one, when do you use which? And if you're working on something similar and want to share how it went, drop a comment. That's literally how this video happened. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.